All right, let's be real. By halftime, the vibe was a little ugly. You could feel it in the stands and on the sideline. When your backup quarterbacks are struggling, everything else becomes guesswork. Joe Milton didn't look ready tonight. His timing was off, throws sailed or landed at feet, and it made it nearly impossible to fairly evaluate the guys around him. Same story with the other backup. When neither signal caller can confidently move the offense, routes, separation, and protection all blur into a mess, and fans start asking the wrong questions. I get it. Preseason is for reps and development, but tonight the quarterback play was so inconsistent that it swallowed any chance for the offense to show progress. That's not to say there weren't flashes. There was a defensive play that cut through the frustration, a turnover returned for points, and moments like that remind you the game isn't one-sided. Still, special plays can't paper over the steady, boring things you need. Every drive, accurate throws, clean reads, and trust between QB and receiver. When those aren't there, coaches are forced to lean on fundamentals and ask, who in practice is actually earning these reps? From where I'm sitting, the backups need more time and cleaner work in practice to start closing the gap. You don't bench a development plan after one shaky outing, but you also don't pretend the issues aren't real. I also want to say this. The crowd and atmosphere mattered tonight. Halftime, people joking, fans drinking, and a few highlights had everyone talking. But as someone watching the tape later, you can't let energy become evidence. I keep thinking about how much easier it would be to judge the receivers if the quarterback play had been steadier. Chemistry gets lost when the ball doesn't hit the spot. So instead of bold conclusions about breakout receivers, tonight asks for patient, specific notes. Who ran the sharp route? Who fought for contested catches? Who showed clean footwork in press coverage? Those subtleties matter more than the flashy stat line when the QB play is inconsistent. Before I move on, I need your take. Do you think Joe Milton can turn it around this preseason, yes or no? Drop a quick yes or no in the comments so we can see where the fan base sits. And if you appreciate straight takes like this, help the channel hit our next goal. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and smash that like button so more Cowboys fans see the breakdowns. Stick with me. Next up, I'll dig into the defensive plays that actually inspired confidence and the special teams moments that swung momentum, because there were clearer winners on that side of the ball than on offense. All right, now let's switch over to the defense and special teams, because honestly, that's where the game had some life. Even with the offense struggling, there were moments that made you sit up and take notice. The interception returned for a touchdown was the highlight, a play that not only put points on the board, but also showed how a single defensive play can completely shift momentum. Guys like Solomon Thomas and John Stevens Jr. were flashing bursts of dominance, demonstrating that even in a sloppy game, there are pieces you can feel confident about moving forward. The defensive line created some pressure, disrupted timing, and reminded us why depth matters. It's not always about the starters, but who can step in and make a difference when called upon. Special teams also had their moments. Kick coverage, returns, and individual effort can often be overlooked, but tonight there were flashes of players executing their assignments cleanly. It's one of those areas where the coaches are quietly taking notes. A well-timed tackle, a smart block, or even a disciplined lane assignment shows that some of these players are thinking football even when the game is chaotic. For fans, it's easy to get frustrated watching the backups on offense, but seeing a defensive stop or a special teams highlight reminds you that there are reasons for optimism and that not all hope is lost just because the scoreboard isn't friendly. Now, I want to hear from you. Which defensive player impressed you most tonight? Was it Solomon Thomas with his disruption, John Stevens Jr. with that energy and effort, or someone else flying under the radar? Drop your pick in the comments because it's always fun to see what the fan base notices compared to what's highlighted in the recap. And while you're doing that, make sure to hit that like button if you enjoy these deep dives. It helps the channel grow and ensures you don't miss any of these breakdowns. The takeaway from this chapter of the game is simple. While the offense struggled, the defense and special teams provided glimpses of competency and flashes of excitement. These moments are what keep a fan hopeful, even when the score isn't pretty. Keep watching closely, because these are the players who can step up when the starters inevitably face challenges, and they're the ones that can make the difference in tight situations during the regular season. As we move forward, we'll shift focus to the rookies, their performances tonight, and who might be earning a more permanent spot on this roster. Now let's talk rookies, because honestly, this is where a lot of the preseason intrigue lives. The debate between Mingo and Holden is already heating up, and tonight gave us a few glimpses to chew on. Mingo showed effort and flashes of instinct, while Holden had his moments of technique and awareness. Both are raw, and it's easy to see why coaches are giving reps to evaluate who can make the 53-man roster. It's not just about flashy plays, it's about consistency, understanding the scheme, and showing up every rep, even when things get messy on offense or the ball isn't perfectly delivered. That's how you truly measure a rookie's readiness. John Stevens Jr. also stood out. Watching him move, fight for positioning, and come out with energy reminded me why some of these lesser-known names can become reliable contributors. The beauty of preseason is catching these flashes before they're forced into the spotlight, seeing who battles through mistakes, who adjusts quickly, and who is coachable. These are the types of qualities that translate to the regular season, even if the stat sheet doesn't jump off the page tonight. For fans, it's worth paying attention not just to who made the highlight reel, but who consistently shows effort and football IQ. Rookie evaluation isn't about one big play. It's about dozens of small actions adding up. That's why even in a game where the offense was rough, these young guys are what you want to focus on. Their growth could define depth for the Cowboys this season. All right, I need your input here. Mingo or Holden? Who do you think has the best chance to stick on the 53-man roster? Type it in the comments. And while you're thinking about that, if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications. These rookie breakdowns and preseason insights are exactly what we do here, and your support helps the channel reach our goal of 16,000 subscribers. Now let's talk conditioning, depth, and what this loss actually tells us about the Cowboys. One thing that stood out tonight was players being shifted out of position. Take Izzy playing safety, for example. You could see it affecting his conditioning and performance. When a player isn't fully acclimated to a role, reps and stamina show it immediately. That's exactly why preseason is so valuable. Coaches get a live view of who can adapt, who struggles in new roles, and which players need more time in practice before contributing in meaningful game situations. Depth is another big takeaway. Both backup quarterbacks, Milton and Greer, struggled to move the offense consistently, which highlights just how thin certain positions are once the starters are off the field. The same applies to the receivers and safety rotations. You start to see which players are holding up, which ones need more reps, and where the team might need to make adjustments before the regular season. Preseason losses like this aren't disasters. They're experiments that reveal strengths, weaknesses, and gaps that coaching staff need to address immediately. It also matters for fans to manage expectations. Just because the backups aren't lighting up the scoreboard doesn't mean the team isn't competitive. It means the coaching staff has data to work with. Conditioning, mental toughness, and consistency become measurable variables. By watching these aspects tonight, we get a better idea of which players can handle pressure, who fights through fatigue, and who can step in if needed. This insight is invaluable as the roster takes shape and the regular season approaches. Here's a question for you. Would you be comfortable starting Joe Milton if the starter went down? Yes or no? Drop it in the comments. Also, tag one front office decision you disagree with, because these debates are exactly why being a fan is so fun. And don't forget to like the video. Every interaction helps us continue giving you honest, in-depth Cowboys coverage. All right, time for the final takeaways and what to watch next. First off, don't panic over preseason results. Backup quarterbacks struggling, some rough offensive drives, and positional shuffles are all part of the process. The big picture is what matters. The coaches now have live data on player performance, rookies have shown glimpses of their potential, and defensive and special teams plays give us real reasons for optimism. Keep in mind, preseason isn't about the score. It's about reps, adjustments, and seeing who can handle the speed and intensity of NFL football. For the backups, the message is clear. They need more reps and more consistent execution. Both Joe Milton and Will Grier have areas to improve. But the key takeaway is their ability to respond under pressure. Frustration and adversity tonight showed who can dig deep, stay focused, and deliver when it counts. For the rest of the roster, players like Solomon Thomas, John Stevens Jr., and other defensive contributors remind us that depth isn't just a buzzword. It's the difference between staying competitive and getting blown out if injuries hit during the season. Looking forward, watch the rookies closely in practice and the next preseason outing. Their consistency, effort, and understanding of the scheme will determine who makes the roster and who needs more development time. Special teams will continue to be a critical factor as well. Plays here can swing momentum and provide opportunities for players to stand out. As fans, it's about keeping perspective, appreciating the growth moments, and recognizing the flashes of talent that hint at a stronger season ahead. I want to hear from you. Which breakdown should we do next? A quarterback, film review, a rookie deep dive, or a special teams analysis? Drop your choice in the comments. Your input shapes the channel. And of course, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and like this video to help us reach our goal of 16,000 subscribers. Your support keeps these deep dives coming, and together, we'll stay ahead on all things Cowboys.